it's kind of hard for a lot of us to do stuff. So when he come back from work or whatever, he do what he can.
Now, kind of jumping forward for a moment to the weeks prior to your dad's death, did you notice changes in his demeanor at that time?
Yeah. Thank you.
What did you notice about your dad's demeanor?
He was the same way kind of too, but like he was isolated before all the arguments and stuff. But it kind of seemed like he was trying to really either deal with what was going on or try to fix it. I saw like a lot of separation going on during the time, but then when they were together, it was either like very rarely it would have been like towards the end would have been the bonding experience was very like limited over the fighting, if that makes sense. So like the arguments would just overtakes what the good memory would have been if the argument wasn't in place, if that makes sense.
And is that something you observed between your parents?
Yeah.
Now, how about your relationship with your dad? Did you see some changes with your relationship with your dad in the few weeks?
Until he got sober.
What do you mean until he got sober?
Once he started getting sober is when I was able to like. My whole life I had a fear of my dad. So.
And did that change when he got sober? Is that a yes? You just have to answer out loud.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. And so did you find yourself coming closer with him at that time when he was sober?
Yeah, we were talking more.
Now, in the weeks prior to his death, did you still hear and see fighting in the household?
Following up?
Yeah, leading up.
Yeah.
And did you see kind of your father either after a fight happened or kind of in the midst of one, what he would do during those fights?
Smoke.
And where would he do that?
Side door. So if there's only two doors we enter from the house, front door, side door.
Okay, but would it be inside or outside the house?
Outside.
And so where would your mom be when he would be outside smoking a cigarette?
If she wasn't out there with him, in the house somewhere. I mean, mostly in her room, just trying to stay away from it, you know?
When you would hear, excuse me, the fighting between your mom and dad, could you hear what they were fighting about?
I mean, like when I would have to, like just like a passing ear, and it'd just be like the same same broken record type of situation. Just a whole lot of just trying to figure things out. It's what it sounded like, you know.
And when you say trying to figure things out, was there any particular thing that your parents were trying to figure?
The affair.
You mentioned your dad getting sober. Do you remember when that happened, that he stopped drinking?
I know he had his 1 year chip, I believe. Possibly 2 years, I'm not sure.
Okay. When he would drink, what would he drink?
I mean, depends, but majority probably would be Bud Light.
And what were your observations of him when he would be drinking?
They don't want to be messed with.
Okay. So does that mean he would be by himself? drinking?
Majority of times. Yeah.
Okay. And would he do it in the house or someplace else?
Inside the house, and if he had to go outside, there'd be some stash somewhere for him to drink on. So
Did you see a change in his interaction with the family when he became sober?
yeah, he was like a lot more open. It felt like, or seemed like. But like, it seemed like his anger wasn't as bad as before.
At any point, Angel, did you see these arguments with your mom and dad, or hear the arguments with your mom and dad become more than just a verbal yelling back and forth?
Like through any of them, or just like, what do you?
Well, from the period of time from 2018, after your family learned about the affair, till up until the time of his death in January of 2021, did you ever see anything physical between the two of them?
Restate my objection, Your Honor.
I note your objection for the record.
Can I still answer?
Yeah, just a yes or no.
Could you repeat the question?
Between 2018, after the family was aware of the affair, up until January of 2021, when your father passed away, did you see any physical interactions between the two of them?
I don't think so. Not in that time period. Maybe beforehand, but
If we may approach sidebar briefly.
Yes. So, jurors, from time to time, I will give you mid-trial instructions, and this is the first time that I'm doing that.